everyone. It's 7 a.m. and some of us are awake purely on a technicality. That's me. Well, welcome to the Morning Brew number 1233. This is Scott in 7FGP in Jamestown, New York, where it's currently 65 degrees and going to be a nice sunny day today. Before we get started, let me remind everyone that June 20th is just around the corner, and you won't want to miss the East Coast Reflector Western New York meet and greet in Orchard Park, New York. Today is going to kick off with VE testing starting at 9 a.m., and don't forget to RSVP to RMB at w2rbc.com. All right, the question of the day is, and I kind of went back and forth on this one, we'll kind of test everybody's age, I think. Do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? If you want to avoid check-in pileups, text your call sign and nothing but your call sign to 716-317-9050, or you can email your call sign to text@ecr.radio. All right, before I read all the texts that we have in so far, let's go ahead and take some mobile check-ins. If you are mobile and mobile only, now's your chance to check in. Call sign twice and slowly. Please call now.
Whiskey 5 Papa Lima Mobile. Whiskey 5 Papa Lima Mobile.
Whiskey 5 Golf Hotel Romeo. Whiskey 5 Golf Hotel Romeo Mobile.
November 5 Charlie Hotel Bravo.
In
November 5 Charlie Hotel
Kilo Juliet 5 November Hotel Mobile.
November 5 Charlie Hotel Bravo.
K4 GDS. K4 GDS. K4
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Oscar Papa Lima. Kilo Foxtrot 0
Mobile.
Oscar Papa Lima.
Kilo Foxtrot 6 Hotel Delta Juliet Mobile. Whiskey 1 Sierra Sierra. Whiskey 1 Sierra Sierra.
All right, let me grab it here and tell you who we have. Mobile, we have Michael, W1SS. We have Brent, KF6HDJ. Then we had station all we have is JV. If your call sign has a JV and you just tried to check in, please come back with your call sign twice and slowly.
Yellow Hotel 6 Julius Alpha Alpha. Sweden.
All right, need that twice and slowly. And key your mic just a bit more before you start talking. Oh, maybe we got it. SH6 Juliet Alpha Alpha. All right, that's John. Let's go. Let's see. We also have Devin, KF0OPL. We have Craig, K4MMX. We have Jeremy, KJ5NHH. Chuck, N5CHP. Brian, W5GHR. And James, W5PL. At the top of the mobile list is Gil, K4GDS. All right, before we read back the text messages, check-ins, let's go ahead and get the mobiles. We're going to start with Gil, K4GDS. Gil, do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? Over to you.
Oh yeah, yes I do, and that definitely takes me back a few years, but you can put me down for a yes. K4 GDS back to net.
All right, Gil, thanks for checking in this morning, and let's go to James in Spring, Texas. W5PL, good morning, James.
Well, good morning, Scott and Vicky. Thank y'all for running that this morning. And good morning, Brew Crew. This is Whiskey 5 Papa Lima Mobile. James in Spring, mobile in Houston for work today. A beautiful sunrise on the dash ahead. and it's going to be a good day. I'm not even looking at the weather because I'm not going to let anything ruin my day today. At hand, no. I do not remember the smell of a mimeograph machine, and for some reason I think I'm glad I don't, because it doesn't sound pleasant. With that, I'll say 7-3, hand it back to Ned. Everyone have a blessed day and stay safe out there. This is Whiskey 5 Papa Lima Mobile. We'll be monitoring.
All right, James, thanks. I can't talk. It's too early. Thanks for checking in this morning, James, and let's go to Brian in Katy, Texas, W5GHR. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Brew Crew. Answer is yes, I do remember. Brings me back to my early elementary school days. During elementary school, they changed. But my early kindergarten, probably first grade, maybe second grade, absolutely. Back to you, Net Control, W5GHR.
All right, Brian, thanks for checking in this morning, and for me, it always sets a test. All right, let's go to Chuck in Sugarland, N5CHP. Good morning, Chuck.
Morning, Brew Crew. Scott, Vicky, everybody. Oh, yeah, I remember. Oh, and I believe there's a scene in Fast Times at Ridgemont High where the teacher hands out the tests and all the students pick up their paper and start smelling them. Smells will take you back in time just like music will. Have a great day, everybody. N5CHP.
I think I remember that. Thanks for checking in, Chuck. Jeremy in Conroe, Texas, KJ5NHH. Good morning, Jeremy.
Hey, good morning, Brew Crew. Yeah, James wasn't saying it, but yeah, temperature's 82 degrees already here in Houston, Texas area. So yeah, it's going to be hot and muggy today. So there you go, James. But man, so I'm not going to lie, I had to actually ask my AI classes what a mimeograph machine was. So the answer is no, I do not remember the smell of it. I'll turn it back to the day. Y'all have a blessed day. KJ5NHH Mobile.
You young whippersnapper there. Thanks for checking in, Jeremy. Let's go to Craig in Oakland Park, Florida. K4 MMX. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, everybody. Good question. And the answer is yes, all throughout elementary school in PS 115 in Canarsie, Brooklyn, New York. I do remember it very well, and I also remember how horrible the copies were, so difficult to read. So, K4MMX, back over to Ned. Everyone have a great day.
All right, Craig, thanks for checking in this morning, and have a great day. Devin in Broomfield, Colorado, KF0OPL. Good morning, Devin.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me this morning, and good morning to everybody. Answer to the question is no. A gentleman before me, I had to look up what it was. Didn't even know. Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good morning, everybody. KF0OPL.
All right, Devin, thanks for checking in this morning, and have a great day. Brent in Pensacola, Florida, KF6HDJ. Good morning, Brent.
Well, good morning, everybody on the Brew Crew. 77 degrees here in Pensacola, Florida this morning. And giving me flashbacks to elementary school. I certainly do. And a little bit of trivia, since the majority of the mimeograph machines was produced by a company called Ditto. They are also affectionately known as the Ditto machine. Back to that control, KF6HTJ. Have a great day, everyone.
right, that's a good piece of trivia there. I forgot they called them the Ditto Machine. All right, thanks for checking in, and have a wonderful day. Michael in Deerfield Beach, Florida, W1SS. Good morning, Michael.
This is W1S. Put me down for a yes. I remember the smell distinctly. It brought back memories. Thanks a lot. This is back to the net.
All right, Michael. Yeah, you know, that's a smell that you just don't seem to ever forget, isn't it? All right, thanks for checking in. Have a great day. Let's go across the pond over to Sweden and Jan, SH6JAA. Good morning.
Good morning. Here, early afternoon now. Ska vi se, 11 minutes over 1. So it's an early afternoon here now. And yeah, weather is not very good. Raining all the bloody time. But whatever. It's a typical Swedish weather. Yeah, I have nothing much to say, but it's just fun to be with you and listen to you. And yeah. Okay, back to you, net control.
All right, well, you have a wonderful afternoon and a great evening. Thanks for checking in this morning for us, anyhow. Let's see, let's go to text check-ins now. Let's see, at the bottom of the list we have Gary, KQ4STK. We have Jose in Austin. We have Anna in Beaver. We have Ray also in Beaver. We have Rod in Madison, West Virginia. Chuck in Raleigh, North Carolina. Charles in Belmont, North Carolina. Mark, our team member here in Elma, New York. We have Richard in Sumter, South Carolina. We have Clark in Phoenix, Arizona. Chuck in Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Tim in Columbia, South Carolina. And Duck in Lake City, Florida. Greg in Ontario. We have Wayne in Belmore, New York. Zachary in St. Cloud, Florida. We have Mark in Plymouth. We have Joe in Claremont. Randall in Brownstown. We have Roy in Blaisdell, New York. Bob in Jupiter, Florida. Joe in Deerfield Beach. Ed in Loxahatchee. Paul in Lake Worth. And at the top of the text list is Lou in Lake Worth, Florida. KA4EPS. This is Scott N7FGP in Jamestown, New York. And Lou, do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? Over to you.
Well, Scott, good morning. Everyone else on the crew. Wow. I guess if you were born before 1965, I'm guessing you'll probably know what this is. Otherwise, you have no idea. And I do remember the machine because I was one of the people who used to have to physically crank that handle and print out the stuff for the teacher or the teacher's aide. And boy, that intoxicating 50-50 methyl and alcohol. Oof. You have to open the windows, otherwise you didn't make it out of the room. So yeah, put me down for yes. KA4EPS. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, that was always one of those chores that the teacher had wanted help doing. So, all right, thanks for checking in this morning, Lou, and let's go to Paul in Lake Worth, Florida, KG4GOQ. Good morning, Paul.
Good morning, Scott, and good morning, Vicki. Yes, I do remember the smell and having to take your turn at cranking the back in the classroom and printing it out for the class. Back to the net. This is KG4GOQ in Palm Springs, Florida.
All right, Paul, thanks for checking in this morning and have a great day. Let's move on to Ed in Loxahatchee, Florida, K4POI. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Scott, Vicki, and the Brew Crew. For the machine, I remember the cranking and the noise. What I don't remember is the smell. K4POI, back to the net.
All right, Ed. Thanks for checking in this morning and have a great day. Bob in Jupiter, Florida, KA4RAK. Good morning, Bob.
Morning. Morning, everyone. I remember the word mimeograph, but I don't remember the smell. So, everybody have a great day, and thank you very much. KA4RAK.
Alrighty, Bob. Thanks for checking in this morning and have a great day. Let's go to Joe in Deerfield Beach, Florida, N3 SQR. All right, matey, you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine?
Morning, Scott and the rest of the crew. I absolutely do remember that smell and that blue ink. As a matter of fact, my first girlfriend used to put that fluid behind her ear and on her wrist and use it as perfume. But I did dump her for a girl that wore the top number 9 gun cleaning fluid. N3SQR, back to net control.
All right, Joe. Thanks for checking in this morning. Let's move on down to Roy in Blaisdell, New York, KA8 BYU.
Oh, good morning, everybody on the brew. KA8 BYU. Oh, boy, do I remember that smell. In junior high and high school, I worked in the library, in the audiovisual and the copying. And I would always pray that there were film strip projectors or movie projectors and that to deliver rather than getting stuck having to make the endless copies for all the teachers and that on the machine. Usually end up, if I get stuck in there for most of the period, ending up with a nice headache from that stuff. Yes. Phew. Back to you.
All right, Roy. Thanks for checking in this morning. And yeah, you know, the quality of those copies. Oh. Okay. Let's go to Randall in Brownstown Township, Michigan. KA8 UFM. Over to you, Randall.
Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Vicki, and good morning to the rest of the brew crew. Yes, to that question. That was a long time ago, but yes, I do remember that smell. With that, this is K8UFM, back to net control. Everyone, outstanding Tuesday.
Randall, I love hearing the birds in the background there, just like a Disney movie. Thanks for checking in and have a great day. Let's move on down to Joe in Claremont, Florida, KM4WZD. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Vicki. Good morning to the crew. Absolutely, I remember. I used to avoid homeroom, I used to work in one of the school offices, and the teachers were in there all morning making up the things they needed to hand out to the students. So definitely remember the smell. Also remember the smell of smoke, because that was one of the few places in the school that the teachers could hang out and smoke a cigarette. So those two scents are firmly implanted in my mind. Hey, everybody have a great Tuesday. It's KM4WZD. Take care. Back to net.
Oh, yes, I also remember the off-limits teachers' lounge where they were all in there smoking. All right, thanks for checking in this morning, and let's do Mark in Plymouth, N0 CKV. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Scott, Vicki, Al, rest of the brew crew, everybody else on the net. Oh, I definitely remember that Amazing how just the thought can bring back such a vivid smell. Enduro CKV, back to net. Everybody, Tuesday and a great rest of the week.
All right, Mark. Yeah, it's definitely a smell that's stuck in my brain, that's for sure. All right, thanks for checking in this morning. And let's see, let's go to Zachary in St. Cloud, Florida, KI6, KQO. Good morning, Zachary.
Good morning, Scott, Vicky, and the Brew Crew. 73 degrees here in Florida Central. No, I don't remember the smell of the machine, but I do remember seeing one in the church office. I never saw it in action. Back to you, Scott, 73 KI6 KQO.
All right, Zachary, I've got you with the no. Yeah, you might have to go to a museum to see one now. Let's try Wayne in Belmore, New York, KC2 in JV.
KC2NJV, if I didn't say that already. All I remember mimeograph machines, and what I always found funny was they were doing public service ads about and afraid of you sniffing glue, and we all sniffed the mimeograph ink because it was, intoxicating. Otherwise, those were the days. Have a great day. Yeah, that's a very good point there, Wayne. All right, we still have some text check-ins to go, but let's go ahead and call for some radio check-ins. If you would like to check in via radio, now is your chance. Just need your call sign twice and slowly. And kind of space it out so we don't get the big pile up.
This is KC7FBN, KC7FBN, mobile, shorter time.
N5GI, N5GI.
KO4EAS, KO4EAS.
Whiskey 4, Papa X-ray. Victor
W8, WHK, W8, WHK.
Victor Alpha 3, Bravo, Victor Hotel, in and out. KJ5, MLZ, Kilo Julia 5, Mike Lima Zulu, mobile. Vic Alpha 3, Charlie Romeo Foxtrot pedestrian mobile.
E4,
Kilo Delta 2,
14, Papa,
KD2, YUY. I don't know if I made it in. KQ4, YY, KQ4, YY.
All right, let me grab it here. Let's see who we have. We have Joe, KQ4YYN, who's mobile. In a second there, Joe, we have Charles in Syracuse, KD2YUY. Nathan, W4PQD. We have Vern in Ontario, VA3CRF mobile. We'll get to you in a second. I have Ezra, KJ5MLZ mobile. We have Bill, W8WHK. We have Brian, VA3BVH, who is in and out. Thank you for checking in, Brian, and have a great day. We have Don, W4PPX in Hollywood, Florida. We have Leonard in Margate, Florida, KO4EAS mobile. We'll get to you soon. We have Rick in the Villages in 5GI. We have Rob in Boca Raton mobile, KC7FBN. We have Bill in Hobbs, New Mexico mobile, KI5PMI. Elmer in Allen Park, Michigan mobile. KB5NJU, and we have Kenneth, and the village is AB4KT. Let's get to these mobile stations first, and first is going to be Elmer in Allen Park, Michigan. KB5NJU, good morning, Elmer. And the question is, do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? Over to you.
This is KB5NJ. Oh, yeah. As soon as you mentioned it, like somebody else said, that smell immediately came to my brain. I remember our school had a hand-cranked machine that we would sometimes help the teachers with. Oh, that thing was loud, too. Happy Tuesday, 7-3 all. Thanks for running the net, as always. KB5NJU Mobile.
Oh, yeah, I remember cranking that crank. All right, thanks for checking in, Elmer, and have a great day. Bill in Hobbs, New Mexico, KI5PMI.
Good morning, Scott, and everybody on the brew. Yes, I do remember that smell and use one of the machines. Hope everybody has a great day. KI5PMI, back to net.
All right, Bill. Thanks for checking in. Vicki had to look up the machine because she's much too young for mimeograph machines. And anyhow, thanks for checking in, and let's go to Rob in Boca Raton, Florida, KC7FBN. Good morning, Rob.
Well, good morning, Net Control and the group. Hope everyone is doing well. You know, I don't remember the smell of a mimeograph machine. I know I smelled it when I was a kid, you know, but I do remember the smell of the liquid they use to preserve animals for shop class or for biology class. When I was a kid, my job as a TA was to dispose of a bunch of sharks. I hope everyone has a good day. KC7FPM.
Oh, yes, Rob, the wonderful smell of formaldehyde. All right, thanks for checking in this morning, and have a great day. Let's go to Leonard in Margate, Florida, KO4EAS. Good morning, Leonard.
Bill and Vicky and the rest of the brew crew. Yes, I definitely remember that smell. I was blessed to be able to use one of those machines, and we ended up, I guess, getting an electric version of that. And yeah, that smells something you don't forget. This is KO4EAS. Have a great day.
All right, Leonard, you have a great day yourself. Thanks for checking in this morning. All right, let's move on down to Bill. No, Bill's not mobile. Let's go to Isra in Belle Chase, Louisiana, KJ5 MLZ. Good morning, Isra.
KJ5, MLZ, good morning to you and the rest of the crew. Oh man, I'm like Vicky. I don't even know what the machine. I don't even know what that machine is there. But yeah, I'm gonna say no. Hope everyone have a great day. KJ5, MLZ.
You youngins, get off my lawn. All right, let's try Vern in Ontario, Canada. VA3 CRF. Good morning, Vern.
Good morning, Scott and Mark. Vicky, everybody on the net, thanks for picking out for a walk, and it looks like it's going to be another beautiful day. Probably up in the 60s right now. And I remember the distinctive smell of the mimeograph machine. I also remember liquid paper and carbon paper. Wow, we're going back to the past. I appreciate you doing the net. Hope everyone has a good Tuesday. a nice rest of the week. VA3 CRF.
All right, Vern, you have a great day. Let's see, last mobile check-in here is Joe in Franklin, Georgia, KQ4YYN. Good morning, Joe.
With them copies out. That was probably the highlight of our day at one time because we went to small school. But anyway, yes, sir. Remember it well. Wish I had one of those. Wish I had a teletype machine they use at the radio stations. You could hear them go, and they tear off that paper and read the news. Anyway, back to that. Hey, thank you guys for being out there, and whoever, I don't even know who's logging this morning. This KQ4 YYN.
All right, Joe, thanks for checking in this morning. And this is Scott in 7FGP in Jamestown, New York. And on the logs, we have Vicky, KE8VKY. All right, let's see. We had a few more text check-ins come in. We have Scott, KY4NB. We have John, KF8GJJ, and Randy, W2RVC. We had Vince, KR4MM, also check in. Let's get back up to where we left off here, and that's going to be with Greg in Ontario, Canada, VA3GLJ. Good morning, Greg. And do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? Over to you.
Morning, Scott. Good morning to the brew crew. Currently 54 degrees Fahrenheit or 12 degrees Celsius. Of Geneva Lake, absolutely, I remember that smell. Brings back memories of high school. Everybody have a great day at 73. VA3JLJ, back to net.
All right, Greg, thanks for checking in this morning, and let's go to Duck, KK4DUK. Good morning, Duck, and do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? Over to you. Well, let's try Duck one time there. KK4DUK. Good morning, Duck. All right, let's move on down to Tim in Columbia, South Carolina. KQ4EFY. Good morning, Tim.
Scott, this is KQ4EFY, Tim in Columbia, South Carolina, and I do remember the smell of the mimeograph machine. Back to net control.
All right, Tim, thanks for checking in this morning, and we've got you down. Chuck in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, W3CBE.
Good morning, Scott, Vicky, and everybody on the brew there. And that'd be a big yes. I remember when the school got that machine. Yeah, entry. So with that, have a great day. W3CBE.
Alrighty, Chuck, you have a great day too. Thanks for checking in this morning, and let's move on to Clark in Phoenix, Arizona, KK7DY. Good morning, Clark.
Good morning, Scott, Vicky, and the rest of the brew crew. Yes, I do remember the smell of a mimeograph machine. That was elementary school aromatherapy. Back to net control, KK7DY.
Yes, aromatherapy. Thanks for checking in this morning, and let's try Richard in Sumter, South Carolina, N4 RSM. Good morning, Richard. Well, Richard, we just got a digital break up there, so I'm just going to give you a check-in, and thanks for checking in this morning. Have a great day. Let's go to team member Mark in Elma, New York, KE2 EDS. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Vicki. Good morning, Brew Crew. The simple answer to the question is yes, I don't think you ever get that smell out of your mind. Have a great day, KE2 EDS.
All right, Mark, you have a wonderful day today. Charles in Belmont, North Carolina, KR4AEG. Good morning, Charles.
Years. I don't recall this machine, but I must have missed it by a few years. KR4 AEG back to net control.
All right, Charles, we've got you down with a no. Thanks for checking in. Chuck in Raleigh, North Carolina, K4RGN. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning to everyone. The answer is yes, definitely. I love the smell of Mimeograph fluid in the morning. Back to the net, K4RGN.
The smell of mimeograph fluid in the morning. All right, Chuck, thanks for checking in, and let's go to Rod in Madison, West Virginia, WD8 KOB.
This is WD8 KOB. Well, good morning, Ned. I hope everyone is having a good day. And I believe you're referring to what is called a spirit duplicator, because they're based on the alcohol principle and therefore had a very distinct odor to them. And they were very cheap and the standard back in the day, especially in school systems. The Mimeograph machine, on the other hand, is based on the fact that oil or grease and water won't mix. So anyway, being a former business teacher, I can tell you, man, I certainly remember the odor. Have a great day. Back to that, WD8 KOB.
All right, Rod. It's amazing you remember all of that stuff. All right, thanks for checking in this morning. Let's try Ray in Beaver, Pennsylvania, N3 DQD. Good morning, Ray.
Yeah, good morning, Scott. This is N3DQD. Yes, I remember the smell, but the thing I liked the least about all this was the feel of the paper. I did not like touching that paper. Back to net. This is N3DQD.
Yeah, you know, now that you mention it, I do remember it did kind of have a different feel to it. All right, let's try Anna in Beaver, Pennsylvania, KD3AJN. Good morning, Anna.
Good morning, Scott, and everyone else on the net this morning. Yes, I do remember. This is KD3AJN.
All right, Anna, you have a wonderful day today. Let's try Jose in Austin. This is KJ5MEL. Good morning, Jose.
Good morning, Scott, and everybody listening. Yes, I do remember, like you said, Scott, that aromatherapy. Nauseous. but we lived with it, we worked with it, and a lot of memories come from that. God bless you, and have a great day to everybody out there. Have a good week. Back to you, Scott. Net control.
All right, Jose, you have a wonderful day today. Gary in DeLand, Florida, KQ4 STK. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I remember that. I was with electric in school. I remember that. I was in some class, and we had some school project, and the teacher liked whatever the heck it is I did and had me write up the stencils for it. And I also remember, yes, science class, the worst collection of smells that you could imagine. And I remember bio class, yes, we had to do dissection of a frog, and the formaldehyde was truly something to behold. Anyway, thanks for a great question. 7-3 to everybody. My thanks to the ECR people for a wonderful job. KQ4 at K back to net.
All right, Gary, you have a great day today. Kenneth in the Villages, Florida, AB4KT. Good morning, Kenneth.
Everybody, this is AB4KT, the Villages, Florida. Yeah, I remember that fluid. I never saw the machine, but I certainly got tests and whatnot to fail that were done on that machine. And I remember the smell. 7-3, everybody have a great day.
All right, Kenneth. Yeah, and you know there was nothing like the print quality of a mimeograph copy. All right, thanks for checking in, and let's go to Rick, also in the Villages, Florida, in 5GI. Good morning, Rick.
Okay, good morning, everybody on the Brew Crew. This is N5GI, and yes, we do absolutely remember the mimeograph machine and the wonderful smell when the fresh copies came off. This is N5GI, back to net.
All right, Rick, thanks for checking in this morning, and let's move on down to Don in Hollywood, Florida, W4BBX. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Scott, and everybody on the Brew Crew. This is W4BPX, Hollywood, Florida. Put me down in the yes column. W4BPX, back to net control.
Alrighty, Don, I've got you in the yes column. Okay, let's see, Brian was in and out, so let's go to Bill in North Myers, Florida, W8. WHK, good morning, Bill. And do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? Over to you.
The mimeograph machine. Well, we have 73 degrees here in Florida, by the way. But yeah, I remember this was an alcohol smell. And every time I'd see like a stack of glue and paper on my teacher's desk, and I thought, oh boy, a test or a small exam or homework. I hated homework. But yeah, I remember it. And never had an opportunity to use one, but I think I'm pretty sure I would have messed it up. Okay, back to you. This is W8WHK. Everyone have a nice week, and 7-3s back to net control.
All right. right, Bill. You know, a funny thing is the dog always ate my homework, so I don't know what happened. He must have liked that smell. All right, thanks for checking in, and let's move on down the list to Nathan in Palm Beach Gardens, W4PQD. Good morning, Nathan.
Good morning, everybody. No, I do not remember it, and so that means I'm younger than some of you, but just remember that means you've won in life because you're guaranteed to have lived longer than me. W4PQD.
All right, Nathan. Thanks for checking in this morning. And let's go to Charles in Syracuse, New York, KD2. YUY.
Well, good morning, sir, and everybody else listening in on the brew. And I'm not in Syracuse. We're on the road. We're camping in Vermont for the rest of the week. As far as the mimeograph, yes, I'm old enough to remember the mimeograph, and my school probably had it longer than some. Well, I went to a Catholic school, and they were rather conservative. Okay, cheap? Yeah, okay, conservative. 73, I'll back to net control, KD2, YU.
All right, Charles. You have a great time out there camping. Thanks for checking in this morning. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get some radio check-ins here. If you would like to check in, please give us your call sign twice and slowly and kind of out a bit. Call now.
08, pop up. 9 Yankee 4 Charlie. 9 Yankee 4 Charlie.
Good morning. Whiskey 5, Whiskey Lima Hotel. Whiskey 5, Lima Hotel. November Kilo Charlie 5 Charlie
Victor Alpha 3, Yankee Bravo Sierra. Victor Alpha 3, Yankee Bravo Sierra.
N3MPE, N3MPE.
November 3, Mike Delta Charlie. That's November 3, Mike Delta Charlie, pedestrian mobile.
November 3, Mike Papa Echo. November 3, Mike Papa Echo, pedestrian mobile.
This is November 1, Whiskey Echo Bravo N1 WEB.
November 4, Bravo Echo X-Ray, Rebecca Mobile. November 4, Bravo Echo X-Ray, Mobile.
Victor Alpha 3, Kilo Tango Juliet. Victor Alpha 3, Kilo Tango Juliet, in and out.
Kilowatt 9, Tango Bravo Delta Mobile. K9 TBD Mobile.
All right, let me go ahead and grab it here and read back who we have. All right, there's a station that just called in, and I kind of talked over you there. I got November Papa. Come back with your call sign. 1 November Papa. 1 November Papa. All right, we have you in 1 NP Benjamin. Looks like you're new to the system. Oh, maybe not. Okay, let's see. I have Joel in Easton, who's mobile K9 TBD. We have Jetstar, BA3. We have Jensok in Ontario, Canada, who's in and out via 3KTJ. Have a great day. We have Lisa in Warren, Michigan, KF8FQZ. Thomas in Margate, Florida, K9TGS. We have the Godfather himself, WB2JPQ. Good morning, Dick. We have Rebecca, who's mobile. We'll get to you soon. BEX. We have Daryl in Concord, New Hampshire, via the text line, WB1DXN. We have Webb in Collierville, Tennessee, N1WEB. Michael, who is mobile, N3MDC. Sam, who is also mobile, MPE. Then also we have Bill in Ontario, VA3YBS. Then we had a station that was WAF. What we got, if your call sign ends in WAF, please give us your full call sign.
This is Whiskey 2, Alpha Foxtrot Uniform. I didn't hear my name, so I thought perhaps it's me. I'm in and out on mobile. Again, that's Whiskey 2, Alpha Foxtrot Uniform.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Okay, thank you, Tom, for checking in this morning. You have a great day. We also had Daryl in Lubbock, Texas, KC5CZX. We had Lee in Wimberley, Texas, W5WLA. Dexter in San Juan, Trinidad and Tobago, NY4C. At the top of the call-in list here was Chris in Michigan, KB8PLV. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get these mobile stations. And the first one is going to be Sam in Pflugerville, Texas, N3MPE. And Sam, do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? Over to you, Sam.
Hey, good day from Pflugerville, Texas. Yes, I sure the late 1950s and early 60s. It was that this stink blue was it ink? I don't know what that stuff was. I guess it was ink. I don't really know how they work. But sometimes they were really faded. Yeah, you just have to use your imagination what some of them said. But it wasn't really the case all the time, though. But yes, I remember those days very well. Mimeograph machines. Amen. North Eggers down on. All right. Have a great day, all of you, my friends. It's in 3MPE, Pflugerville, Texas. Good.
All right, Sam. Good day, y'all. Back me up every time. Let's go to Mike in Salem, North Carolina, N3MDC. Good morning, Michael.
Well, good morning, everybody. Yes, I do. I think when I lived in Colorado, I was going to the Career Development Center known as CDC. I think we had one of those near the outside in another part of Longmont East, where I used to go to school at. So, yeah, I remember those things when I was still at the Career Development Center. Back to net control and 3MDC.
All right, Michael, got you down with the yes. Thanks for checking in and have a great day. Let's go to Rebecca in Millington, Tennessee, N4BEX. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning. Thanks for calling the net this morning, everybody who's working behind the scenes and calling. This is November 4th, Bravo Echo X-ray, Rebecca, and yes, I do remember that smell. It was teacher's aide when I was in middle school, junior high school, we called it then. And the one we had, you had to turn by hand, so you just had to roll it over and over and over with your hand. And we would get that purple ink on our fingers, and of course we wouldn't wash it because when we went back to school or to class, we wanted everyone to know that we got to use the mimeograph machine. But I really remember the smell. Thanks for calling the net today, everyone. Have a great day. 7-3. This is November 4, Bravo Echo X-ray. Back to net control.
Rebecca. You know, it's kind of funny how teachers use that as kind of a reward. You get to use the Mimeograph machine. All right, thanks for checking in, and have a wonderful afternoon. All right, finally we have Joel here in Easton, Pennsylvania, who is mobile K9 TBD. Good morning, Joel.
Good morning, Scott. The brew. Yes, indeed. 1976, I gave a lecture at the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee on octal arithmetic. And before I left the house this morning, I found the master down in the basement in my files. How about that?
All right, Joel, thanks for checking in this morning. Also, via the text line, we have KJ5JJ, have KJ4ZFM, KY4NB. Scott, we'll get to you here in a second. We got you. Okay, and let's move on back up the list here. Also, via the text line, N8ZFH, we have Bob, W3ICQ, Bob, KQ8U. We have Mike, KB2UDB. Good morning, Mike. All right, let's see. At the top of the here is Vince in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, KR4EMM. Good morning, Vince. And do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? Over to you, Vince. Alrighty, Vince, we got you a little scratchy into the repeater, but we picked you up. All right, team member Randy in West Seneca, New York, W2 RBC. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott, Vicky, and everyone on the Morning Brew. I do remember the alcohol smell of a mimeograph machine running. Even the copies had that smell for quite a while. Back to net control, 73 to all, W2 RBC.
All right, Randy, thanks for checking in this morning, and have a great day. Go to John in Middleton, Ohio, KF8 GJJ. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Net Control, everybody listening. I do remember mimeograph machines, but I can't recall the odor to save myself. We had them in my elementary school and junior high school, but yeah, I can't recall the smell whatsoever. Everyone have a good day. Back to Net Control, KF8 GJJ.
All right, thanks for checking in this morning, John. And let's go to the land of Elvis and barbecue. Scott in Memphis, Tennessee, KY4NB. Good morning, Scott.
Well, good morning, Scott, and everybody on the brew crew. Sorry for the second check-in there. I thought you'd forgot us on the original text check-in there, Scott. Anyway, yes, I do remember that and chalk on the blackboard. Everybody have a good morning, KY4NB, or evening, wherever you are, KY4NB, back to net.
Alrighty, Scott. Yeah, I didn't forget it. I just kind of jump around a little bit. Make it more interesting, right? Alright, Scott. Thanks for checking in this morning, and have a great day. Let's go to Mike in Sebring, Florida. Well, he's not in Sebring now. KB2, UB out fishing, Mike. Over to you.
Good morning, Scott, Vicky, Brew Crew, and everybody else listening. Those in the Zoom room as well. Yes, I am out fishing, catching fish left and right. And the answer to the question is yes. Once you go in that principal's office and you smell that smell, you don't forget that smell. I can almost smell right now as we're talking. Hi. So the answer is yes. Thanks for picking me up this morning. You guys do a hell of a job out there. So thanks again. KB2 UDB back to net control.
Alrighty, Mike. Thanks for checking in this morning and have a good time fishing. Let's go to Bob in Ecorse, Michigan, KQ8U. Good morning, Bob.
Morning, Scott, Vicky, and the rest of the brew crew. Yeah, when they walked in the room with them copies, it was almost like they were coming with candy. Everybody sniffing the pages. Good memories. Everybody have a great day.
All right, check in this morning. That's going to do it for me. So I want to thank everybody who checked in with me this morning, and thank Vicky for logging KE8VKY. This is Scott in 7FGP, turning it over to Al, K8DAC. Good morning, Al. So over to you.
Well, that's some good timing there, Scott. My station identified just as you were doing that. Good morning. This is K8BAC, Long Vicky, K8BKY, log report. What a great question this morning. It brings back one original memory that my mother used to do all the copying for the church bulletin. And there's a room in that church building, to this day, still smells like mimeograph machine. I don't think you can purge that smell out of there with any amount of chemicals. Although the machine is long gone. So that's the question of the day. Do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? Let's go to W3ICQ, Bob in Leesburg, Florida. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Al. You know, I should be old enough to remember the mimeograph machine. I mean, I'm so old that my first pet was a dinosaur, but I cannot remember a mimeograph machine. I just say, what's the mimeograph machine? Anyway, back to you. W3ICQ. Everybody had a great day.
All right, thank you, Bob. Have a great day. Gary in Woodhaven, N8ZFH. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Al, Vicky, and the crew. And yes, I sure remember that, probably around first grade. And they say smell is the best memory. Remains with you. Don't take me in and out. Everybody have a great day. N8ZFH, back to net.
All righty, thank you, Gary. Have a great day. Next up, KB8PLB, Chris, over in Novi. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Put me down for most definitely. It's one of those childhood smells and colors that seared into your memory for a lifetime. And the very first time of the school year you were asked to go do that with the mimeograph, it was like mission impossible, because I remember where the principal's office was. Well, I get to talk to some of the adults in the office and take my time coming back because I had accomplished the mission of the teachers. Hope everyone has a great week ahead. This is KB8PLV, back to net.
Yeah, I think the mimeograph machine and the smell of the wax that they used on the floors on the first day of school are just imprinted in their head, and it'll never come out. 94C, Dexter in Trinidad. Good morning. Y4C, are you with us?
Okay. Yes, I just getting my headset on as I left the car. I do what the mimeograph machine was, but that smell that everyone's talking about, somehow it feels familiar to me. And good morning, and thanks for doing the net.
All righty, thank you, Dexter. Have a great day. Next up, W5, WLH, Lee in Wimberley, Texas. Good morning, Lee.
And now, Vicky and the rest of the crew, yes, I do. I do remember very fondly. Whiskey 5, Whiskey Lima Hotel, back to net control.
All righty, thank you, Lee. Have a great day. Next up, KC5CZX, Daryl in Lubbock, Texas. Good morning, Daryl.
Well, good morning to the brew. I honestly can't remember the mimeograph machine. Put me down for a no, I guess. So back to net, KC5CZX.
All right, thank you, Daryl. Got you down as no. That's all right. Shows you that you're younger than what you think you are. PA3YBS Bill in Dunville, Ontario. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Al and Vicki and everybody on the brew crew this morning. Yeah, I remember that smell. It's one of those smells you never forget. It's a long time, but yeah, that memory still. Thanks for doing the net this morning, Al. This is VA3YBS, back to net control.
Yep, you're right. You never do forget it. Thanks for checking in this morning. How about Webb in Collierville, N1WEB? Good morning, Webb.
Thank you, Al and Vicki. Good morning to the net. Yes, I remember that smell, and that brings back a lot of memories. I remember, I think Rebecca in Millington said being rewarded by the teacher to be allowed to use the mimeograph machine. I remember those. I remember exactly where it was, too, in the school. N1WEB.
All right, thank you, Webb. Have a great day. How about Daryl in Concord, New Hampshire, WB1DXN? Good morning.
Good morning, Vicki and Scott and the rest of the brew crew. Yes, I can remember that. It's been a long time ago. You're really picking my memory here. And very long time ago. That, yes, I do remember some of that. Back to net control, WB1DXN.
All righty, thank you, Daryl. Have a great day. Next up, the godfather of the East Coast Reflector, WB2JPQ. Good morning, Dick.
Al, Vicki, Scott. Oh, how could you ever forget that smell? Great question this morning. I sure do remember. This is WB2JPQ.
All righty, thank you, Dick. Have yourself a great day, sir. How about K9TJS Thomas in Margate, Florida? Good morning. K9TJS Thomas, are you with us? All right, we'll mark them in and out and go to Lisa in Warren, Michigan, KF8FQZ. Good morning.
Thanks for the fun question. Yes, I remember them, and I remember they would come cool off the press. So if you were lucky enough to get ones that were just freshly coming off the machine, they were still cool and damp and had that blue ink and had the most wonderful smell. Thank you for a sentimental question. This is KF8FQZ, back to net control.
All righty, thank you, Lisa. Have yourself a wonderful day. Thanks for checking in. Let's see. Jinsuk was in and out. VA3KTJ. Thanks, Jinsuk. Have a great day. Let's go down to K1NP Martin. Good morning, Martin.
K1NP. Good morning to the crew. And that's, yes, I do. That was a very distinct smell. actually portable in San Diego, California right now. 73 tall, K1N.
Alrighty, thank you, Martin. Have a great day. Enjoy. Let's see. We got text check-ins. We got W4RHC Ariel, and I know he's mobile because we're looking at him. Let's get to him. W4RHC Ariel, good morning. Do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? Good morning.
No, that one is a tough one for sure. No, I do not. Do not remember that. And especially now, the older I get, the less I smell with all these allergies. I live surrounded by these pine trees, and they really kill me every year. But anyways, I hope that everybody has a good morning up there. Back in the mobile, heading to the first service call for the day. 73 is too old. From Wind or Romeo Charlie, High Spring, Florida, in the mobile. 73 guys.
Alrighty, thank you, Ariel. Have a great day. Be careful out there. Let's just get down this list of check-ins. I don't know if Scott went over the list or not, but we got KG8 Jeff in Perrysburg. We got KE8SMN Jeff in Rochester Hills. W3WBB Eddie in Peru, New York. And we got N8HON Mike in Point, Michigan. KJ5LJJ Greg in Purvis, Mississippi. And KJ4ZFM Robert in Deltona, Florida. So let's just go right down the list here. Reminder of the question, do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? How about KJ4, ZFN, Robert? Good morning.
Well, good morning to the brew. Thank you very much, Vicky, and everyone else that put everything together with the system. I'm going to say, yes, I do remember that funny little alcohol and whatever the heck else it was, but yeah, that ink, I guess it was. Yeah, I remember that smell. KJ4ZFM.
Alrighty, thank you, Robert. Have yourself a good day. How about KJ5, Greg in Purvis? Good morning, Greg.
The answer to the question is no, I do not remember it. Back to you, Net Control.
Alrighty, thank you, Greg. Have a great day. How about N8HLN Mike in Grosse Pointe, Michigan? Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Al, Vicky, and the crew. Certainly do remember the mimeograph machine, but upon Googling it this morning, it was actually the mimeograph machine cousin, the Ditto machine that printed in the purple and blue and had the strong alcohol smell. And I just thought I'd clear that up, and always knew when there was a test coming when the stack of papers came into the classroom. Thanks, great question. N8HLN.
I know you'd think that smell would trigger a fight or flight response in everybody that's had to smell it, but apparently it's just the opposite. So we must have really liked being tested anyways. W3WBB Eddie in Peru, New York. Good morning.
Morning, Al. Morning, Vicky, and everyone on the brew crew. I think I'm about at the end of my lease. Hopefully I sound okay. I'll keep it short. Must be older than I think because I got people with dinosaurs that don't remember, but I sure do. Both the machine in the principal's office and the smell of that purple ink on paper. So appreciate the conversation. This is W3WBB.
Alrighty, thank you, Eddie. And yep, you're still hitting it just fine. How about KE8SMN Jeff in Rochester Hills? Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, brew crew. This is KE8SMN. And yes, boy, do I remember that smell. Never going to forget it. KE8SMN. Back to net.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Have a great day. Let's go to Jeff, KG8QP in Perrysburg, Ohio. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Al, and everybody on the brew crew. 100% remember that smell. Mom was a teacher, and I was blessed. I got to run that machine many, many times. Thanks for bringing back some great memories. Appreciate it. Everybody have a great day.
KM4 USQ Kilo Mike 4 Uniform Sierra Quebec.
W3U.
N2BH, November Zulu Alpha. Kilo Juliet 5, November Zulu Alpha, mobile in and out. Kilo Charlie 3, Lima Alpha Victor, K3L, Juliet 5, Delta X-Ray Bravo. W2 KJV, W2 KJV.
Foxtrot Golf Sierra Delta. Kilo Foxtrot Golf, I'm sorry, Kilo Fox 8 Golf Sierra Delta.
All righty. Well, I'll tell you who we got there. From the bottom up, we got KF8 GSD Chris, Royal Oak. He's mobile. We'll get to you in a bit. One of our team members, W2KJV Tony in Homosassa, Florida. We got KJ5DXV Frank in Sugar Land, Texas. KC3LAV Mike in Littis, Pennsylvania. We got KJ5NZA Doug in Hutto, Texas. He was in and out. Thanks, Doug. Have a great day. Another one of our team members here in H. Bill in Palmyra, New York. WA8CLG Doug in Homosassa, Florida. We got NW3U David in North Carolina. KM4USQ James, Memphis, Tennessee. Let's go down that list. Let's grab our mobile station, Chris in Royal Oak, KF8 GSD. Reminder question of the day, do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? KF8 GSD, good morning.
Good morning, Kilo Foxtrot 8 Golf Sierra Delta. Unfortunately, I don't even know what that is, so I can't tell for certain if I even know what it smells like. Back to you, Ned.
Ah, yes. You have to have a lot of gray hair nowadays to remember them. But they're the precursor to a copying machine, the big expensive ones, and they were just, a lot of them were hand cranked too. How about W2KJV Tony in Homosassa? Good morning.
morning, Al. Good morning, Vicky, and everyone on the Morning Brew. Yes, I do. I remember it well. Hope everyone has a great day. Back to you, Al. W2KJB.
All righty, thank you, Tony. Let's jump up to KM4 USQ James in Memphis, Tennessee. Good morning, James.
Morning, everyone. This is James, Kilo Mike 4 Uniform Sierra, Quebec, and yes, I do remember the Mimeograph machine. My wife's a teacher and always had to fight to get in line to use one, so when one came up for sale, we snagged it. It's still tucked away in the attic somewhere, and yes, I definitely remember the smell. KM4 USQ, back to net control.
All righty, thanks for checking in this. Have a great day. How about David in Garner, North Carolina, NW3U? Good morning.
Good morning to you and everybody out there in the Morning Brew NW3U here. Boy, I tell you what, do I remember the smell, and how could you not remember that? Morning, everybody have a good day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. 7-3 NW3U.
Two words. Talk to you later. All right, Tim. KJ4CJB, KO4CW.
All righty, thank you, David. Have a great day. How about WA8CLG, Doug in Homosassa? Good morning, Doug.
This is WA8CLG. Good morning, everybody. And I remember the mimeograph machine, but I never got close enough to one to give it the sniff test. I remember them shooting out papers one at a time, but that's about it. Good morning, my friend Tony. Everybody have a good day. Back to you, Al.
All right, thank you, Doug. Have a wonderful day. Next up, another one of our team members in 2BH, Bill over in Palmyra. Good morning, Bill.
Well, Vicky, Scott, and everybody, I don't have any hair anymore, but I still remember the smell. I remember the room it was in, and the rest of the day we go on lunch with some retired deputies and 2BH.
All righty, thank you, Bill. Have a great day. Enjoy that lunch. KC3LAB, Mike and Lidditz. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning. I'm fine. Good morning to everyone on the net this morning. This is KC3LAB, Mike in Warwick Township, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And it's a pretty nice day here today. And by all means, we remember the smell of mimeograph. From third grade on, I did what I could to make sure I was the one getting them all so I could smell them first. You betcha. Love that stuff. Oh, that might have something to do with some of today's issues. What do you think? KT3LAB, back to net.
Yeah, I'm sure there was some health issues there. But that's all right. Yeah, something's going to get you anyway. How about KJ5DXB Frank in Sugar Land, Texas? Morning, Mr. Frank.
Good morning to you, Al, Vicky, everybody in the Brew Crew. And yes, I do remember that smell. Thanks for the check-in. Everybody have a great day. KJ5DXB. Back to you, Al.
All righty, thank you, Frank. Thanks for checking in this morning. Looks like we've got a couple text check-ins. We got WW0N, Kenneth, Germantown, Maryland. We got KJ5AXC, Lewis in Houston, Texas. KD3ATQ, Jim in Easton, Pennsylvania. And KO4, QMM, Roger, one of our team members in Umatilla, Florida. KF0MHN, Bill, another team member in East Bethel, Minnesota. We got KM4CTB, Donnie in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Let's head on to that list. Anybody, anywhere, somebody call times twice and slowly.
Whiskey 5 Delta Bravo Sierra. Whiskey 5 Delta Bravo Sierra.
Kilo 2 Zulu Oscar Juliet. Kilo 2 Zulu Oscar Juliet.
November 0 Tango Papa. November 0 Tango Papa.
N2 FYA, November 2, Fox Yankee America.
W8 BPD. Whiskey 8 Bravo Papa Delta. KF8 DIC. All right, well, right there from the bottom up, we got our Detroit Rock City guy, KF8 DRC Jack in Rochester. W8 BPD Brian in Warren. We got NW4Q Jim in Murfreesboro. N2 FYA John in Mystic. We got N0 TP Gary in Hannibal. We got K2Z OJ Mike in Green Valley. W5 DBS David in Houston, Texas, and we also have checking in here KC2JPQ Frank in Lancaster. To the list here, reminder of the question of the day. Do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? Let's jump all the way up to KD3ATQ Jim in Easton, Pennsylvania. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Al, Vicky, and the rest of the brew crew. I most certainly do. I don't know whether that's a good thing to admit that or not. Back to you, KD3ATQ.
All right, thank you. Great day. About KJ5AXC Lewis in Houston. Good morning, Lewis.
Good morning, brew crew. Yes, I do remember it back in the mid-late 60s at elementary school. Yeah, I can remember that smell. KJ5AXC back to net 73.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a great day. How about WW0N Kenneth in Germantown, Maryland? Good morning, Kenneth.
Well, good morning, folks. Good morning, crew. Kenneth here in Germantown, Maryland. Yes, I do remember that that smell. Oh my goodness! All 12 years of school. So nice day here in Germantown. 73s, everyone. Have a wonderful day. This is WW0N in Germantown, Maryland.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a wonderful day. How about Donnie in Jacksonville Beach, Florida, KM4CTB. Good morning, Donnie.
Good morning, Al, Vicky, and everybody on the net. KM4CTB, Donnie in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Who could ever forget the ink and the stink of the mimeograph machine, printing all of our tests and everything else? Yeah, no spring chickens in this group. We all remember that. Thanks for doing the net, Al. Have a great day. KM4CTB, back to net.
All right, thank you, Donnie. Have a great day, sir. Thanks for checking in. Next up, the net controller for our 20-meter net on Thursdays, KO4QMM Roger, one of our team members in Umatilla, Florida. Good morning, Roger.
AC7.
Remote base link off.
Well, good morning to you there, Al and Vicky and Mark. Good to see you all there in the Zoom room, and you can put me down for a yes for the smell. I have no idea what the machine is, but somebody referenced fast times at Ridgemont High, and that was it exactly. Everybody sniffing the test before they... Back to you, Al. KO4QMM clear.
All righty, thank you, Roger. Have a great day, sir. How about KF0MHN, another one of our team members, Bill in East Bethel, Minnesota. Good morning.
Good morning, Al. Oh, yeah, I remember that quite well. Long time ago. Anyways, have a great day, Brew. And you too, Al. KF0MHN, I'll be out.
All righty, thank you, Bill. Have a great day. Next up, W5DBS, David in Houston. Good morning, David.
Big Texas howdy to everybody on the net this morning. Yes, I absolutely remember the smell of that machine in the early 1950s in elementary school. And then when the whole platoon would be transferred to a different part of the base, all our orders were cut on a mimeograph machine. Enjoy it, guys. Back to the net.
All right, thank you, David. That's an interesting little fact, but yeah, bring back a memory. Have a great day. How about K2ZOJ, Mike in Green Valley, Arizona. Good morning, Mike. K2ZOJ, are you with us, Mike? Well, we'll put him down now and go to N0TP, Gary in Hannibal, Missouri. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning to everybody on the brew crew this morning. Got a beautiful 72 degrees in Junction City, Kansas, hauling freight, and definitely mobile here. Anyway, I remember that ink. I remember the smell. You might let everybody know what year that they kind of done away with that. I was born in 63. I do kind of remember the ink. As I remember, if it's what you're talking about, it had like a hand crank on it and a barrel drum that printed paper, copied paper. Is kind of what I got in my mind. I'm driving, so I didn't get a chance to look it up, but interesting question. 7-3, everybody have a blessed day. This is N0TP, back to net.
Well, Gary, you're thinking along the right lines. That's exactly what that old machine was, and a lot of people remember the smell of the ink on the paper as it would come off the printer. But you either do or you don't, but it's kind of funny. But yeah, you're right in that zone. You probably had a million papers shoved in your face in school. How about N2FYA, John in Mystic, Connecticut? Good morning, John.
Good morning, everyone in the group, and oh yes, we remember it quite well. Working in the personnel office in the military, I actually used that machine quite a bit, and I can still remember the distinct smell of the paper and all. I still actually have a couple of mimeographed papers in my folder here, so the short answer is, oh yes, definitely. We'll turn it back to net control there. Have a great day, everyone. Take care. This is N2FYA.
All right. Thanks, sir. Have a great day. Next up in W4Q, Jim over in Murfreesboro. Good morning, Mr. Jim.
Good morning, Al. Yeah, I do remember. As a matter of fact, I used them many times. Take care.
All righty, thank you, Jim. Have yourself a great day. Next up, W8BPD, Brian over in Warren. Good morning, Brian. W8BPD. Brian over in Warren, Michigan. Are you hearing us? Hey, hopefully he didn't fall victim to the GM repeater. If he did, you can check back in, Brian. How about KF8DRC, Jack, over in Rochester? Good morning, Mr. Jack.
Good morning, Al. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning, everyone else. Yes, I remember that. I couldn't take it at all. I had to walk away from it and come back for that smell. It's a very bad smell. That's all I have for you, Al. Have a good day. KF8, Detroit, Rock City.
All righty, thank you, Jack. Enjoy the day, sir. Last on this list, KC2JPQ, Frank, over in Lancaster. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Vicky and everybody. Yes, I remember the machine and that smell. So, not much going on today, Al, so I'm just going to stay 7-3, send it back to the net, KC2JPQ.
All righty, Frank, have yourself a wonderful day. Got some more text check-ins rolling in here. We got K4ITA Leo in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. W4HOO Michael, Richmond, Virginia. And we got K2AP Joe in East Islip, New York. Let's head on to that list. Anybody, anywhere, coming to call sign twice and slowly.
This is November 8, Mike Juliet, November, N8 MJN in the mobile.
November 2, Mike Lima Bravo. Charlie, November 2, Mike Lima Bravo, in and out. Alpha to Romeo Hotel Mike. I repeat, Victor, Alpha to Romeo Hotel Mike.
Juliet 5, India Mike Whiskey, KJ5, IMW, mobile in and out.
This is November 8, Mike Juliet, November, N8 MJN in the mobile.
In and out.
Whiskey 8, Bravo Papa Delta. W8EPD, recheck.
All righty. Looks like we got a pretty good list here. We'll call it right there. Adding on to what we already had, we got Brian back with us, W8BPD. We'll get back with you in just a second, Brian. N1CBM Carlos in Hollywood, Florida. We got N8MJN Marson in Sterling Heights. He's mobile. Got KJ5IMW Robert in Houston, Texas. He's in and out mobile. Thanks for checking in this morning, Robert. We got Fox in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, VA2RHM. We got KC2KHT Henry in Eastside. And N2MLB John in Apple Springs, New York. We got K4KU Jason in Atlanta, Georgia. Marson in there again. We already got him, so we'll get back with you guys in a minute. Before we lose him again, let's get to W8BPD Brian in Warren, Michigan. Question of the day, do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? W8BPD. Good morning, Brian.
Morning. I finally got connected. Today only taken me 25 minutes. Anyway, a lot of noise coming from Lake Worth on the frequency.
Yep, I've been hearing it from my house. So today's the first day in a week that I did hear some noise previously, but it was distant. It wasn't a problem. But today, they're clobbering on. So is WP
morning, Al, Vicky. I don't know, I just had somebody in there having a QSO. I do remember the mimeograph machines, and it's funny the question hits today because just last week on the golf course, a couple of us were talking about it and how people liked or didn't like the smell of it or appreciated it. Everybody have a great day. Back to net control. W8 EPD.
All right, thank you, Brian. Have a great day. Let's jump up to Marson in 8MJN. Good morning, Marson.
Good morning, Al. Good morning, Vicky. Everybody on the Morning Brew. This is N8MJN in the mobile. I can't say that I recall, as I'm not sure what that machine is. Maybe a little too young, or maybe it was not something we had in Poland. That said, I'll send it back to net control. Everybody have a great day. 73 N8MJN.
All right, thank you, Marson. Have yourself a great day out there. Let's jump all the way up to Joe in East Islip, New York, K2AP. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Al. Good morning, Vicky. I remember the smell very well. And I have something else that's even worse. I remember when I was in grammar school, I remember the teacher used to fill our ink wells for our fountain pen. Isn't that terrible? Anyway, it's 66 degrees today in Islip, so have a wonderful day. K2AP, back to net.
All right, thank you, Joe. Have yourself a great day. Enjoy. How about W4HOO, Michael in Richmond, Virginia? Good morning, Michael.
This is W4HOO. Good morning, Al. Good morning, Vicky. Good morning to everybody on the brew crew. Got a gorgeous morning here in Virginia this morning. Woke up at 56 degrees. And yes, I remember that smell. I remember that machine. I actually operated that machine, not for tests, but for newsletters and things like that. And the fresher the smell, the better as far as I'm concerned. We loved getting them when they were wet off the press, I guess is the best way to describe it. So that brings back some great memories. I kind of forgot about that machine, and I forgot about until your question this morning. So that brought back a lot of good memories. So thank you for doing that. 73, hope everybody has a great day. Return it back to net control. This is Whiskey 4, Hotel Oscar Oscar.
All right, thank you, Michael. Have a great day. How about K4 ITA Leo in Fort Lauderdale? Good morning, Leo.
Good morning, Al. Good morning, Vicky. I hope you can hear me this morning. Yeah, we have 3 people for who connected to this ECR. None of them are working today. Anyhow, I leave the weather to Carlos, Ciao Carlos. And yes, I remember the smell. I remember also the stain, the ink stain on your pen when you were using it. I print a lot of paper with that. Everybody, a great day. K4, ITA.
All right, thank you, Leo. Yeah, you're a little broken up, but yeah, we got your answer. That's, yep, that's, and I remember the sound, that kerchunking sound every time the paper would do there. That's another thing about those things. K4KU, Jason in Atlanta, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Al and Vic. It's a beautiful 65 degrees here in coastal Lima, Peru today, and no, don't have any idea what a mimeograph machine is. I'll Google it later. Have a great day. This is K4KU, back to net.
All righty, enjoy. Have fun down there. How about N2MLB, John in Apple Springs? Good morning, John.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I distinctly remember going to the office and getting copies, having that smell. Everyone have a great day, and to MLB, back in that.
All right, thank you, John. Have a great day. What's up, KC2KHT Henry in East Islip, New York?
KHT, and I certainly do. The nuns that I went to school, they loved that machine. Back to the net, KC2, KHT out.
All righty, thank you, Henry. Have a great day. Next up, BA2 RHM Fox in Montreal, Quebec. Good morning, Fox.
Code 59795. Connection failed.
Hey, 19A in the high school, we used the technology to make copy of Howard Student Journal. But the ink was dark blue instead of just today, look at all the technology we have to make beautiful prints with our computer, our printer, and scanner, and also camera. I don't call it printing anymore. I want to call it art printing. Back to you, sir.
All righty, have a good day, Fox. Enjoy it. Let's see, where did Marson? How about let's go down to N1 CBM, Carlos in Hollywood, Florida. Good morning, Carlos.
It's a little gray, but the sun's peeking through the clouds, so it's good weather for us right now. That's a very, very particular smell that I won't be able to forget, you know, and I also remember the first action you took after you received the paper for the test from the teacher is stick the nose to the paper and take a whiff of it. That's how we did it. Thank you, Leo. I'll see you soon, brother. Appreciate that. TBM, back to you all.
All righty, thank you, Carlos. Have a good day out there. We got some more text check-ins rolling in here. KE2AJO, Jose in the Bronx, New York. We got WB8ODF C checking in. KQ4IIX Brian and Lumber Bridge checking in. Let's add on to this list. This is Al, KABAC, along with Vicky, K8UKY. Logging for me. Keep me on the straight and narrow. Anybody, anywhere, company call signs. And slowly.
Echo 11, Mike Romeo, Alpha, Echo 11, Mike Romeo, Terry, Johnson, Oregon.
Juliet Mobile, Kilo 1, Hotel Tango Juliet Mobile.
Red code 3, Tango Go, go ahead. Red code 3, Tango Go, go ahead. It's go.
Whiskey 8. Yeah, sure. Don't. Papa.
Whiskey 2, Elf.
Kilo Oscar 4, 99 Kilo, in and out. Kilo November 4, Kilo India November Golf, in and out. Kilo November 4, November India.
W2EM.
KK4MA, again, Kilo 4, Mike Alpha.
Yeah, all righty, we'll hold it up right there. There's a couple of doubles in there that we may or may not have gotten. From the bottom up, well, actually, let's recognize we're in and out. We got KO4MMK, Jeff and Apopka. He's in and out. Good morning, Jeff. Thanks for checking in. KK4MA, Mike in Manning, South Carolina. He's new to the system, along with KN4WNJ, Mario in Lakeland, Florida. Guys, if you are new to the system, I'd like you to check out EastCoastReflector.com. When you get a chance, it's a great website, including the East Coast Reflector magazine in there. Miss Vicky does a great job working on. And you will receive a welcome letter if you have a valid email address in QRZ from the East Coast Reflector team. We got W2EM Chuck in Lancaster checking in, along with WD8 PIC Bob in Sylvania. Bob, you were pretty broken up when you checked in. I don't know. You might want to find a spot in the living room and don't move. We got VE3TGN Tim in Windsor, Ontario. K1HTJ Bill in Graniteville, Vermont. We've got N4KHZ John in Rochester, New York. And now there was a 7MR call sign. If you had it like a 7MR call sign, come back with your call sign twice and slowly. It sounded like a mobile station.
Echo 7, Mike Romeo 87MR.
And that sounded like a Mr. Terry over in Harrisburg, Oregon, AE7MR. All right, let's run this list. Let's get our mobiles. Terry, you a mobile, AE7MR. Question of the day. Do you remember the smell of a mimeograph machine? Good morning, Terry.
So, Mike Romeo, not really. I operated the copy machine that they had that you had to spin by hand. I don't know if that was a mimeograph or not, but whenever I was in the office at the high school, Oak Creek High School, I used the copy machine when they needed copies for a class. Alpha Echo 7, Mike Romeo.
Oh, yeah, that's what we're talking about, Terry. Yep, that's exactly what we're talking about. You have yourself a great day, sir. How about KN4WNJ Mario in Lakeland, Florida? Good morning. KN4WNJ, are you with us? All right, we'll mark them in and out. We'll jump all the way up to KQ4IIX. Brian in Lumber Ridge, North Carolina. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, everyone on the crew. Yeah, I do remember that in grade school. That's an unforgettable. Well, it's a nice day here in Carolina. That's all I got. 73 and back to net.
All right, thank you, Brian. Have a great day. Next up, WB8 ODF, Dave in Ypsilanti. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Al, Scott, and Vicky, and the rest of the brew crew. I'm Dave, WB8 ODF in Ypsilanti, Michigan, 30 miles due west of Detroit on I-94. I certainly do. That's a smell you don't forget. We had it in grade school, kindergarten through sixth grade, and yes, every time you went in the office, the whole office smelled like it. Thanks for working today, Al, Vicky, and Scott. WB8 ODF.
All right, thank you, Dave. Have a great day. How about KE2AJO, Jose in the Bronx? Good morning. Well, we heard you, Jose, but you want to try again? KE2AJO. Good morning. Nothing heard. Let's go to K4LXJ, Rex and Crystal River.
Good morning to you and the rest of the brew crew. You'll have to put me down for a yes, so I guess that makes me an antique. KJ4LXJ, back to you guys.
Yes, sir. I never thought I'd admit it, but yep, I agree. Have a great day, Rex. How about N4KHZ John in Rochester, New York? Good morning. N4KHZ John, are you with us? Well, nothing heard. Let's go down to K1HTJ Bill in Graniteville, Vermont. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, all on the net this morning, the Brew Crew. It's Bill, K1HTJ Mobile. I'm on Bolton Flats on the interstate in Vermont, coming back from my infusion up to Burlington this morning. And yes, put me down for a yes. It's an unmistakable, forgettable smell. Thanks a lot for doing it, K1HTJ.
All righty, Bill. Safe travel, sir. Have a great day. Next up, PE3TGN, Tim in Windsor, Ontario. Good morning, Mr. Tim.
Next controller, just sending out,
All right, thanks, Tim. Have yourself a good day, sir. How about WD8PIC? Hello, Bob.
Okay, that's better. One of the repeaters isn't working very well. I'm on an outside antenna, so as soon as I heard that, I went over to the other repeater. By the way, for your information, Ben, this is 5-5. Anyway, yes, I do. Very, very, very vividly. I can't forget it, just like everybody said. Back to net control, WD8PIC.
All righty, thank you, Bob. Yeah, that cleaned that right up. You were loud and clear, coming in full. Have a great day, Bob. Take care. Hopefully we get the storms you're talking about. You give that microphone upstairs a little workout this morning. Let's go to W2EM, Chuck in Lancaster. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, the rest of the crew here. Oh yeah, I remember that. My mom was a grade school teacher, so she used to bring those mimeograph sheets or the packs home and worked on them for her classes, so I remember that really good. Quite a chemical smell. If they still had those around, they'd probably be banned in California now. So anyway, back to net, W2EM.
Yeah, that's a running joke. Everything costs in California. But yeah, if your parent was a teacher, definitely know that smell. All right, thanks, Chuck. Thanks for checking in this morning. Have a great day. Let's go to KK4MA, Mike in Manning, South Carolina. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, y'all. Everything's going good here. It's Mike and Manning, and yeah, I certainly recall the mimeograph machine. My mother was secretary for the Tennessee Valley Kennel Club, and once a month she busted out the old Royal typewriter to create a stencil, and then rip off about 50 pages, of the previous month's minutes for the upcoming meeting. So it permeated the dining room for several days. So 73, have a great day, guys, and those of you with 6 figures, they're tremendous opening to Europe this morning. 73, KK4MA, off and clear.
All right, thank you, Mike. Might have to kick that on after the net here. WA KE2NYY. Mark in Hopewell Junction, New York. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody on the net. Yes, I definitely remember that smell. And I remember the paper that used to stick together and curl with a certain texture. Dr. Net, WA2NYY.
All right, and it looks like we got Jose back. KE2AJO. Good morning, Jose.
Good morning to you and everybody else in the morning brew crew. Thanks for on that. And I'm going to say, I don't recall even seeing one when you started your phone at the time. Have a great day, everybody. Safe travels to work. Good day at work. Maybe to the phone. KE2AJO.
All righty, have a great day, Jose. Thanks for checking in. And with that, we now end this session of the Morning Brew. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for checking in this morning. On behalf of Scott and 7G Vicky, K8DKY, this is Al, K8BAC. We'll be back here tomorrow. Everybody enjoy the day, and we now return the East Coast Reflector to its normal amateur radio use. 73, everybody.
Mike Romeo, Pleasant, what's the 444-450, Alpha for 7 Mike Romeo, out clear secure.
Whiskey Delta Foxtrot. Good morning, East Coast Reflector.
I only heard the one syllable you enunciated, whiskey. Gotta speak up a little bit. M0 MSS Mobile, good morning.
Good morning, this is Kilo 4 Whiskey Delta Foxtrot. My name here is Dennis.
Turn my volume way up, but it's still hard to hear you. I think you said Whiskey Delta Foxtrot. Or is it a Kilo 50? What's going on in your world today?
Not a lot, not a lot. Just trying to make a little contact on the radio here this morning.
All right, sounds good. I'm just on my way to work, actually pulling into work here, so it was a short trip for me, 5 minutes. You're making it on the Reflector.
Thank you, sir. I hope you have a good day at work. Appreciate you coming back to me. Wish you a 73. Have a great work week. This is Kilo 4, Whiskey Delta Foxtrot, clear and standing by.
All right, you have a good week as well. N0 MSS Mobile.
KB9 OMS Mobile, Central Illinois.
Kilo Bravo 9, Oscar, Mike, Sierra, KD9, OMS, oh, monitor.
KB5 OMS, this is an 8MJN. I'm also in the mobile. TTH here is Metro Detroit. Good morning.
Kilo Bravo 9er, Oscar, Mike, Sierra, personal is Kevin, Kilo Echo Victor, India, November, Central Illinois, Lincoln, Illinois, actually. Doing a commute this morning, so real fine morning, although weather is supposed to turn a little bit grouchy.
Good morning, Kevin. My name here is Marson. Mike, Alpha, Romeo, Charlie, India, November. Yeah, I'm here in suburban Detroit in Sterling Heights, about 15 miles to the repeater. Our weather forecast appears to be similar to yours. About 81 degrees right now, sunny, but supposed to turn crappy and thunderstormish in the afternoon. So, yeah, I just dropped off my daughter at preschool, so just making a drive back home. And figured I'd respond to you as I'm driving. And, you know, the GM repeater is going to drop off the reflector here in about 3 minutes. So, about the time I got left till I get home. Back over to you.
Roger. Well, thanks for picking me up. It's the first time using the reflector. I'm connected via Echo Link, not the local repeater, just Echo Link off of my handheld radio called the iPhone. So thought I'd give it a go after their net cleared. Appreciate it. Sometimes, you know, the radio gets a little quiet, so I thought I'd at least practice this so I could use it if necessary. Martin, it's been my pleasure. Thanks.
Well, pleasure meeting you. Drive safe and wish you 73s. This is an 8MJN. I'll be clear.
MJS. Martin, again, my pleasure. We just came through your fine city on the way from Canada down through Detroit to my mother's QTH in Toledo. So we came just by your neck of the wood late last week. So your commute's about over. So 73's KB9 OMS.